Is this thing on?
Live from Coochie Neck Falls, Alabama. It is Uncensored Radio's UCR Live. We are here. I had to.
You're
Sorry.
a total bee.
That
You
has
are.
it has made my morning. You don't even understand. I'm still having an internal chuckle. My eyes are watering a little bit. It's just a good way to start the day. Like we're kicking off the weekend in style here, especially when it's federal election weekend here in Australia.
I just voted, Steve, literally before the
Oh,
show.
did you early vote?
I went in and did it as a pre-poll because I figured I didn't want to show up tomorrow when it's really crowded and cause more mayhem. So I just decided to go in today very quickly after I went to do ATM deposit. You know, you can put your money into your bank now through the little thing. You just... So I did that one, and then
phone too.
No, I had actual cash on me, babe. So I was old school. So I thought, no, I better go and do that while I'm still alive. And then I was like, no, I'll get this voting out of the way. So we've got some interesting parties, don't we, Steve?
Since we do. Do you want to?
This is my favorite right now.
I want to hear about the Australian election.
If you want to see
Patriots,
if you want to see the most pack of malicious, vile cunts you'll ever see in politics, the trumpet of Patriots are it. They're even turning on all other right wingers. She literally had an ad that popped up on Pauline Hanson's grandchildren's YouTube videos. It's been popping up on my daughter's one too. Don't vote for One Nation. They are evil. That's literally the message. That's the message. I'm like, is this really the level of politics we're at now? We're just going to say the other party's evil, so vote for us.
Well.
I cannot speak to that. Level of politics.
So for the people, for a little bit of transparency for everyone that is, especially in Australia, the Trumpet of Patriots party is just the Clive Palmer party, dressed up in a new.
He's a billionaire who spends a fortune on politics because he wants to be Trump.
He said yesterday that Australians want Trump. Australians want to be.
But Clive, you're not Trump, and you're not fucked.
You shouldn't want Trump. Take it from someone who's got him. You should not want him.
And nobody does. Nobody
He's driving the country off a fucking cliff.
It's bizarre though, because a lot of what we're being trickled down here, like we're starting to see actually the protests and stuff that are happening over there now, Vera. That wasn't happening. That was completely sanitized from our media.
Every fucking day.
I think there's just too much happening. They can't keep it out. Yeah. So it's funny though that they knew to appeal to that same demographic here, because let's be honest, you know, a lot of Australia isn't that educated. We've got a huge mining industry, which a lot of people make very good livings from. So they don't have to become educated or well-read or anything like that. You can have a very good life by being very much just straight in, out of school, start earning over six figures. So they're really appealing to that demographic of people that think Trump's doing this wonderful job. So I think it's hilarious that they call it the Trumpet of Patriots. It's, to me, it's an internal giggle. I like it. It's so trash.
It's not even like, they're not even trying to disguise it. And they've been geolocating / robo-texting.
Have you been getting heaps of texts too?
I have, yeah.
I've been getting them like daily, and it's like I did a post
on TikTok about it, and the response was like everyone's like, "Oh, okay, Trumpet of Patriots." Obviously, that's upsetting.
Well, it's funny actually. On the Trumpet of Patriots,
estimate the effectiveness of that shit, because that shit is part of what carried Trump in these rural states.
Well, I went and read all the comments
where they were bombarding people with messages that Kamala Harris was giving blowjobs in San Francisco, which, to get her job. They're just ridiculous extremes that these people are going to, and the uneducated, the less educated, the less informed. Some people just don't want to be informed. They just want to get on with their day. And they know that eggs cost $6, and somebody said Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. Why would we vote for her? And then there's idiots who say, I don't like her laugh. Why would we vote for her? It's that micro-targeting.
I went in on the Trumpeter Patriots comment section on the ad where they said, "One nation is evil. Don't vote for them." And the amount of support for One Nation on that, there was no one in those comments saying that they were supporting Trumpeter Patriots on their own page, and it was all for One Nation. I'm like,
the thing is that there is no. They know exactly what they're doing, because there is, when you get these text messages, there is no option to unsubscribe to stop it. So people are automatically going to the website, and there's no information there. So they're driving the traffic towards it, and they've spent millions of, and it would have to be millions of dollars on
absolutely
on advertising, because it's on every, like, we were watching, I think it was MasterChef yesterday, which is a very well rated show on regular TV here on terrestrial television,
and you got a lot of Sue Ellen.
Every ad break. Every ad break.
Well, my daughter was watching a video of Roblox. Roblox has nothing to do with politics. It's clearly a video geared towards a child, and the Trumpeter Patriots ads are coming up on it. I'm like, wow, this is twisted stuff.
It's weird. Weird and wonderful. I feel like we don't get it as all-encompassing as America did. Like, being over there before the last election, like literally getting out, getting out by the skin of my teeth.
Before the election, I know.
Yeah, it is all encompassing over there, and we don't get that over here. We get, like, they kind of do their groundwork and do their little visits, but it's not rallies. It's not all that kind of thing.
We have a problem here in this country in that the majority of the media is now owned by conservative billionaires.
Yeah.
So 2/3 of all of the TV and radio across this country are owned by one conservative billionaire who airs Trump. And, they are the people that are sharing all this misinformation. You would not believe the amount of misinformation that is out there. My 94-year-old aunt goes to a prayer group, and she was trying to tell me that Trump is a devout Roman Catholic, and that's why he got invited to the Pope's funeral.
We're going to be talking about that today. Do you love that he wants to be Pope as well?
Oh my God.
Well, why not? Why not? The sky's the limit, literally.
Anyway.
He walked into the presidency with no qualifications. Why shouldn't he be Pope?
I might try and go do some early voting today, too, because there's one thing I hate when we vote here. It's the volunteers out the front.
Oh, mate, they all swarmed me today.
Trying to hand your papers. I'm like,
I was just telling Vera that actual pollies are there too, like the members.
Oh, are they?
There, where I am. And they were there. I was like, "G'day, how are you? I know who I'm waiting for. It's all good." Like, because they all just come at you with stuff.
You're like, homo, hi. Homo, single dad. Homo, single dad.
Yeah, family first. Sorry, you're probably not getting my vote.
One of the very few political rules that hasn't been smashed to pieces by this Trump administration is that politicians are not allowed within 1,000 feet of a polling place. They cannot do any political campaign.
Well, that's not here.
Within
They're
1,000 feet of the polling place.
They're allowed to stand right there.
What was just on a micro level? So we're talking macro stuff. On a micro level, it was very interesting to see how much Australia is kind of gearing towards American politics. Last local election, so I'm just talking like Lord Mayor of Newcastle. We usually have a sausage sizzle, so Vera. Australian tradition of sausage sizzle. They went all out last year. They were giving away
onion on it, bub?
No, Luke, you'll shit yourself. They were giving away bacon and egg rolls.
Oh, get out of it. Well, we've
In this
literally had a
economy?
news article pop up here today saying where to go to get the best sausage sizzles while you vote. And it's
Elon
literally
Musk
got a
gave
map.
away $1 million checks.
Yeah, I know. But it's just like this is just for Lord Mayor of my town, and they're like the
I'd rather $1 million
butcher,
check
the
than a
butcher
bacon egg
donated
roll. Just
bacon.
saying.
So I'm like, oh,
I'd rather a
Proper.
democracy that wasn't on the verge of extinction.
you can't want too much, Vera. Come on.
I know, right? What am I?
What do you want? Another pope? Oh.
Now, what we do have to say was, because I didn't even get a chance to post it on the page this week. I've been so busy. It was a birthday this week of one of our lovely panelists / queen,
Happy birthday!
Miss Katrina A. Johnson.
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't me,
Miss
guys.
Katrina
It was...
A. Johnson's birthday. She's
Shit,
21
they didn't even
again.
show up on my stuff. I thought
She's
I was your
21
friend.
again. Bless you. Happy
She's
birthday,
flying
kitty.
around, living her
Living
life.
that girl, man. That I have so much FOMO. Instagram is keeping me fed. I'm like, oh girl, FOMO, just so much
She's
FOMO.
having a good
So,
time, that one. Yeah.
not going anywhere anytime soon by the looks of it. So we'll be.
No, I don't
We'll
think
be
you'll
here.
be welcome in Australia because you keep running your mouth on here about
America.
Yeah. You
Oh, I
done.
got told. Oh, wait. So I've been going. So for some reason, I don't know why, I've been able to start going live on TikTok. So I have been. I've just been like
They
doing
keep sending
stupid
me
stuff.
notices that I can go live. I only have like
So
3
I've
followers.
just
Oh,
been
on
playing around
Uncensored
with
or
it.
as you?
As me, like as me, and yeah. So I've been going live,
I
and
want to hear from you.
I got told I wasn't. I got told I wasn't welcome in Adelaide.
Oh, why is that?
I was like, okay, great. I wasn't
We'll
planning
cross
on
that
going
off the
to
bucket
Adelaide
list.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already been, but I wasn't planning on going again. It was only for a work thing. So
Why
I was
weren't
like,
you welcome? Were you
people are, I
spouting
don't know.
politically divisive stuff?
You were saying
Nah, it's
main things about Adelaide again, weren't you?
just being me. Just being
Yes.
me. So, you know. Every now and then when I get bored, I just get on TikTok live and see what's happening. I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's cute.
Well,
I-
clearly
People
you're
send you
being
stuff
banned
and
from
you're like,
states. You're getting threat style. You're doing it right.
Yeah. You're not welcome here in Adelaide.
Sending me little messages saying, "Get on live. Your fans waiting to hear from you." It's like, I don't have that many.
People are
monetize.
subscribing and stuff just because I go live. I'm like, hi, what's going on? I feel like there's 200
maybe
of
we
you.
should
I'm
all
so
do it.
popular. It's a
Maybe we
little bit
need
of
to
fun.
get Jeff
Katie
onto
and
our Uncensored
Katie
live.
got on mine and we talked a little bit about the show, and that was before the last review. So I don't know if that helped. Like, from there before the Final Destination 2 review. So I don't know. It might have helped. If you are an Uncensored horror fan, we are right up the guts of Final Destination, quite literally. So Final Destination 3 came out this week, Final Destination 4 next week, 5 the week after, and then it's Bloodlines, and then no more Final Destination.
Final Destinations, yeah. We might give it a little bit of a rest.
We get a little rest a little way down. But anyway, we should not rest too much. We should get into this week.
Hot load of hot topics.
Birthday bosoms, shaking, shaking. So, we have... Look, all roads seem to lead to Trump at the moment this week. Starting with Il Papa's funeral. Now, say what you will. This is, look, good optics. Like, what a shot. He seems
Why
to...
is it set up like an SVU episode?
I don't know. But whoever's planning his media campaign, you know, like how we've replaced Obama with his conveniently earshot photo in the White House, and then we've got look at us being diplomatic here now. Hey Joe.
Hi,
yeah,
Joe.
it's whoever's doing those media moments is kind of getting their little tick, but it was interesting. First of all, did you see the reaction difference between Zelensky and Trump? Vladimir Zelensky enters to applause, and then old Donny, dead silence.
really significant is that they're not supposed to applaud. This is supposed
Yeah,
to
you're not
be a
supposed to applaud the
solemn
Vatican.
occasion, and this was
No.
a very clear message that the people support Zelensky in the Ukraine. I mean, they didn't. There wasn't enough. They didn't applaud Macron. They didn't applaud any of the world leaders. It's like Prince William didn't get applause, but Zelensky did, and that's significant. The world is behind Ukraine. And
I mean,
their fight.
it's showing up. Yeah, showing up when your country is at war.
Mhm.
You didn't see Putin there. He didn't show up. He was like,
Putin has never been to any of that kind of state event because
he's too busy riding a horse, shirtless.
with his shirt off.
Yeah.
And that horrible dad
And his
body
coochie
on
neck.
display.
He's got coochie neck. He's got coochie neck for sure. But it's the major. I love that everyone's like, yes, very solemn occasion. He wore blue. I'm like he was gonna wear anything else.
Well, I mean,
at this point,
that's not the least of it.
Yeah,
The fact that he was talking during the funeral, the fact that he was chewing gum during the funeral,
on his
fact
phone.
that he stood up to look around in the middle of the funeral to see who else was there. I can forgive the blue suit. I can't forgive him falling asleep.
Well, yeah, exactly. A very, I think Joe posted it actually on online. Like, could you imagine if Joe Biden had fallen asleep at the Pope's funeral? Like,
Oh
we
my
wouldn't
God.
we wouldn't stop hearing about it. But and then there's the Melania controversy that it wasn't really her; it was a body double, that she wasn't there. It's like,
I don't even care.
like there are more important things than him.
Of all the things to be outraged about with this administration and this president, I could care less if he's got a body double. I could care less if she's wearing the right size heels. I could care less if she had exposed hair. None of that is consequential compared to the shit that goes down in this country every fucking day.
How do you feel about people now criticizing Jill Biden's change of demeanor? They're saying that she's now that she's no longer first lady, she's acting frosty and unapproachable.
Like,
I would
people
too.
have been kind to her.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the media's been kind to her. Like, they've been kind to her husband. Like, they've been kind to her son. Why does she have to be kind to anybody?
That's the same thing about people criticizing Michelle Obama.
Right-wing media in this country have attacked the legitimacy of her degree and her job, that they've attacked the legitimacy of her family, that they've attacked her husband and his sanity and his record. I mean, why does she have to be nice to anybody? She is no longer first lady. Her public service is fucking over. She can tell the world to fuck off. And if she doesn't want to, I'll tell them for her. If you were bitch to Jill Biden and she doesn't talk to you, fuck you.
It's very much like Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama's on the fuck you train at the moment too. She's she's doing podcasts and everything. She's like answering people why. She's like, I didn't want to go to the inauguration. I was like,
given protocol, she'd be sitting next to President Trump for the rest of her life.
Yeah,
that's how the protocol of ex-presidents goes. It would be her, him, and then Melania.
Yeah.
And she does not have to do it. Absolutely not.
I like this kind of breaking the chain, because for so long after, especially when you think of like classic first ladies like Nancy Reagan and stuff, they always have this austere, I'm the first lady, former first lady. These ladies like, I don't give a fuck. You'll suck. Like, you'll suck. You're assholes.
Every freaking social norm that has been in place for my entire life went out the window with the first Trump administration. The kind of civility, the kind of manners, the kind of respect that you would give the office, they have shown for no one. They were hanging effigies of Obama in the streets. They do not get to complain one bit about how they're treated after the way they've treated these other presidents and their families. That's a big drop dead.
But But there does seem to be a little bit of real diplomacy in action after that car crash of a meeting in the Oval Office. This seems to have led to this signing of the minerals thing. I don't know if that's
somebody telling fucking DJT that we don't have any minerals to make our own microchips, and China has the lock on it. So you need to get your ass access to these minerals.
It's a backwards way of kind of. It's all optics. Like, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, this photo, what you don't see in that photo is that there are other chairs with other leaders from all over the world, like sitting having conversations, but it's cropped to look like this intense political moment that he's gonna save the world, and
he's not saving nothing. You know, the fact that this administration, this president, this fucking regime thinks that they can walk in there and say, it's like, well, we can get you peace. You just got to give up the land that he's already stolen. That's like saying, if I like my neighbor's kitchen, I can go over there, break in, take over their kitchen. And when the police come and they say, well, she'll stop fighting with you if you just let her have your kitchen. You know, I don't
not my kitchen.
Does your neighbor have a nice kitchen?
I don't know my neighbor. I don't like people. You know, I don't like people.
Don't make me people.
Oh,
I'm not that kind of neighbor. You know,
we are within the first. You know, we have survived the first 100 days of the presidency, just barely, and the optics that he is presenting are very different to the reality. Like, so easily discoverable facts that we're just lying about. Like, I put up a tweet. Oh no, I don't know what do you call a post from Truth Social? He said gas and grocery prices are way down, just like I said they would be. Eggs are plentiful and down 87%. Nice. It's like,
no,
that's not true.
It's not true.
That's not true. And anyone can look on it, like, you can go outside your door and see that that's not true. So who is believing that?
Everybody who watches conservative media, because, you know,
but
the president told us.
How can you not experience the reality of it, though?
Well, I do believe, given the fact that more and more people are in the streets, more and more people in Republican-held districts are having angry town halls with their politicians. I don't know if you're seeing any of this. You know, these town halls.
I am.
Are very.
I see it on Reddit.
They're
not on our media.
A long-standing tradition in this country where a politician goes back 2 or 3 times a year to their home district, talks to their constituents, addresses their concerns. It's a very old tradition. And the Republican Party is realizing how hostile their own districts are. And there's people telling them, just don't go back. Don't hold the town hall, you know, because people are mad. There's, you know, a lot of the people that lost their jobs are people that voted for this, you know.
That's what I was about to say.
Employees, veterans who believed that a more conservative platform was going to protect vets and protect law and order, and, you know, and all of a sudden they're all out of a job. Not only are they out of job, they're out of benefits. You know, these people with PTSD have no benefits, and the fucking brain dead worm eating director of Health and Human Services is trying to outlaw antipsychotics for people with PTSD.
Yeah, I mean,
it's heinous.
So I'm going to just flip the script a little bit now. So Kamala Harris is kind of re-entering the public domain after disappearing for a while, and I don't know. Like, there just seems to be so much. Even now, obviously with Trump in power, you're not going to get any kind of love. The thing that's surprising me, and what I've been noticing, is that the Bernie Sanders AOC fight oligarchy stuff seems to be where people want to throw their support and their interests, which I never picked because I thought if there was one person that people hated more than Kamala Harris, it was AOC.
AOC is very polarizing.
Yeah.
But Bernie, there are
everyone loves Bernie.
A lot of people who still firmly believe that the 2016 election, Bernie should have been the Democratic nominee, not Hillary Clinton.
Everyone loves Bernie.
There was some shady, shitty politics that went down where people were designated as super delegates, and their votes counted more than regular delegates to get Hillary to that nomination. And I can't say I understand it, but
so do you think it's a case of them again? Like they've got to pick especially now they've got to pick the right people. So, they've got this groundswell of people being unhappy with the president and his approval ratings being
people are just
absolutely
with the Democratic
horrendous.
Party.
Do they have to? Do you think if they find a more, I don't know, like look at how people got behind Kamala when Walls was announced as her running mate? Like, do they need to sacrifice?
Do you think they need Arnold Schwarzenegger? Is what you're saying?
I don't know. Is someone?
I want to see.
Should they be looking for somebody fresh? Like somebody that's not.
I really felt that Kamala Harris was one of the most qualified candidates I've seen in my lifetime. She had judicial experience, legislative experience, executive experience. She had the whole package. She's smart. She's reasonably young, though I guess 60s isn't that young. But
the public don't like her.
Well, the public, she was vulnerable with all that micro-targeting, the Huck to a Harris. It was vile. It was horrible. It was misogynistic. It was awful. And as much as I loved her, I think she's damaged. I don't think it's a good choice for the party.
I
hate saying that out loud, but
it's a conversation that they have it's a conversation they have to have because he's talking about 20. He's not going to be alive in 2028. Let's be real.
I can't believe he made it through his first 100 days. He looks worse every day. He stopped dyeing his hair. The spray tan now has a huge. Yeah,
it's very white.
There's between
lots
where
of
the
white.
spray tan stops and the hairline is now. He just looks horrible.
Yeah, I think that a fresh. Or as fresh as you get. I mean, you guys don't like anyone under 65 in
Pete Buttigieg, man. Pete Buttigieg. I would love to see Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg has a way of talking to people that is so smart, so reasonable, so informative.
There has to be a candidate that can appeal to the public in a way that... Mm-hmm. Because this administration, for what we know that the complaints against Harris, woman and woman of color,
right?
Like she she was kind of chucked in for lack of a better term.
Well, I really feel like.
She wasn't given her time to...
She was already on the ballot. She was already on the ballot. And yes, she didn't get the full...
Yeah, she'd get the spectrum of time to go, this is me and this is what... Yeah.
She was
like she did an amazing job.
From a secondary position to a first primary position very quickly.
Yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you for articulating my stumbling words today. I am Trump. It's all good. It is interesting though, this article with Amazon.
Little bit fractious.
Who are this
relationship? People? This is Jeff Bezos, and that's DJ.
Well, I know it's Trump.
DJT. Now there was uproar earlier this week when it was alleged, and we're saying alleged because Jeff Bezos, more money than God, might sue us.
He's distancing himself from it.
you know, yeah, it's interesting that this distancing stuff is happening. That Amazon was going to display tariff costs on everything, every imported item that they sold on their website.
Yes,
And
I did see
apparently,
this.
Donnie was not happy. Donnie
No.
was not happy. So
The rumor on the
released
street
his
was that there were actual tears. And
yes, he released his howler monkey, also known as Carolyn Levitt.
Oh, you can't call her that.
She's a fucking vile pig of a thing. That woman.
You know.
Anyway,
she's a piece of work.
Yeah. So this is she from her podium of do you know who she is? Do you know who she is? It just came to me. She's Madame Morrible from Wicked. That's who she is. That's who she is. She said oh, you know, because she's his mouthpiece, that this was a hostile and political act by Amazon. So this is another reason Americans should buy American.
Yeah. Guess what, Carolyn? Americans can't source bananas. There is no place in our entire country that can grow bananas. There's no place in our entire country that can grow coffee. You know, there's a lot of shit that Americans need for the products that we use every day. You know, we import so much of our lumber from Canada.
Oh,
sure.
Isn't that a bit delicious?
Oh, that is delicious.
Liberal Prime Minister in Canada?
Adopt us. Adopt us.
Doesn't he fucking hate Donnie? Oh.
You can make us your 51st state. We want to be
right.
Even though I know you don't have 50 states, you have 12.
You can. Vera wants to be able to see Russia from her house. You know.
No, I really don't. I want them to move the border.
Well, you nearly can. Oh, she's frozen.
We've lost
her boobies.
Yep.
Oh, you froze there for a minute like this, Vera. You froze pointing at your boobies. That was very dramatic.
Every day I wake up with fewer rights than I had yesterday.
But look, I'm Canada. That was Canada. And what's with Canada? Did you watch any of the I was watching like a little bit of their whatever. They got like young people running for office. It's like, ooh, with like sexy headshots and stuff going. All right. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. It's like it's like American Idol, but Canadian Idol, but you know, but like for the leader of the world. It's cute. I like it.
Are they capable or cute though?
It's it's just very different, you know, like I don't know why, especially in the modern world, we as you know, people. Oh, we've lost Vera for a second. That's all right. Yeah. We as a society equate age with knowledge. Even here in Australia, all of our politicians. But why? If you like.
I just don't think
good politician, and because your job.
I don't think anyone in their 20s has the emotional maturity to handle.
But I don't. But I don't. I'm saying even our politicians are all over 60.
Yeah.
You know, why can't somebody who in their 40s, like our age, who has lived through various, you know, elections and different leaders, especially us. You know, we were firing prime ministers there for like.
Oh yeah, they had like
no
life expectancy of a spinal tap drummer.
Yeah, I don't know why in this modern world especially with we are now the controlling faction of the world, the millennials. We are the people that are right. She's back.
She's alive.
Yeah, we as the millennials are.
It's ice. They're coming for me.
The majority, and I don't see why we, even America, aren't looking towards people who have lived through these administrations and are still within the society. We're not retirees to guide the country further forward.
Steve's talking about Vera.
Just talking about
Why
the
don't
age
we
of
see
politicians.
more people in their 40s
Oh,
and
she's frozen
50s
again.
entering politics versus, you know, people of retirement age, really, when they become politicians? And we've lost Vera, so she's not gonna. I think she
we've
made
lost
that
her
ice joke, and it's become
now
real.
it's come true. Don't even. It's not funny. It's not, well, we'll keep moving on. A little bit of, you know, it is sad news, but Virginia Giuffre, the accuser
yes.
of
Epstein.
Yeah, you know, I don't even like mentioning their names in the same sentence as hers, has sadly taken her own life.
Yeah. So she was living on a property in Western Australia, and she had written a note as well. But yeah, she was found deceased on her property by authorities, and it's very sad. I mean, this is what trauma does to people.
And she had like,
you know?
I don't think that there was enough focus on the fact that she was a mother, you know. The thing that we know about her is that she, you know, she was involved with Epstein. That's the thing we know about her. And she was the human face of that whole Epstein trafficking thing, but I don't think people knew enough about the actual person. That, you know, she was a mother, she's a wife, and obviously that experience has left her with solid PTSD and mental health issues.
I think she was very brave, but to be under that public scrutiny too must have been just excruciating for her when she's already suffering from a traumatic event.
To see no one take a punishment for that.
Yeah, that's hard.
You know, that's I mean, hard. She's getting vilified daily by people who support this person, and that person's getting more and more powerful by the minute.
Because at the end of the day, like, you know, she had the Mar-a-Lago connection as well. She was working there. Like, these are facts. People.
I know.
These are facts. As much as you want to dispute them, she was working at Mar-a-Lago when the whole Epstein thing happened. So there's not really a positive spin on it. I just maybe hope that she can, that her stepping forward, well, it did something. It got him, you know, out of the equation, literally. Literally. Jizzy Lane is in jail. Yeah. It's like the tip of the iceberg, but sometimes all you need to do is crack off the tip for the whole thing to slowly fracture. And I know that sex trafficking and all that kind of stuff is a huge issue.
But you know how many more
even though we don't
stories
hear
are
about
like
it anymore,
that have ended
we
the
don't
same
hear
way
about it anymore.
that we won't hear about.
Yeah.
You know,
so that's part of the success, is that they've silenced another dissenting voice.
But RIP, baby. You know,
yeah,
there's no positive spin to put on that. Just hopefully she will have found some peace now, you know, and peace. It's a horrible story. But I'm going to turn us to another story now, which has caused a lot of I didn't know. But this young lady seems to court controversy everywhere she goes. Jojo Siwa, ladies and gentlemen. The drama behind Jojo Siwa and this celebrity Big Brother has, you know, blossomed into this huge moment. And she now has it seems like the UK are actually pro Jojo. I don't know, Vera's struggling today. So the story is that Kath Epps, the former now partner of Jojo Siwa, flew over to the Big Brother after party and was surreptitiously dumped by Jojo at the after party after her on-screen liaisons and questioning of her sexuality, etc. Yeah, there's a lot of venom around this, not surprisingly.
Well, it's also sort of lends into that. Like, I literally heard some
No
straight men
idea what's going
saying,
on. I think it's ice.
like, I literally heard some straight men on the weekend talking amongst themselves, and they were saying that, oh, all lesbians have a reset button. And this is sort of lending into
Well, this is the
people
thing, because people
questioning
like,
whether she was really a lesbian or not. Candace Owens famously had an online dispute with her about whether she was a lesbian or not. And now
Mickey
this has
Rourke was
happened.
right. Mickey Rourke was right. See, she only took her time in the. It's like, no, Mickey Rourke wasn't right. It's like, and if anyone was going to turn her straight, it certainly wasn't going to be him, because he looks like more of a lesbian than she does. So
True.
Yeah.
True.
whatever.
He looks like
whatever.
Linda Hamilton after she was like thrown in the vat of fucking lava in Terminator 2.
It's
it's a continuum. Sex is a spectrum.
Yeah, look,
That's
I
what the
think she's
Kinsey
a young
report
woman.
proved.
She's young, she probably this is my issue though, is like everyone wants to be categorized or labeled, and sometimes it's just not what's going to fit with you. Why can't you just be yourself and just be who you are? But
Yeah.
everyone wants to label you.
And for a time she labeled herself, but she can change that label.
Yeah, you're allowed to change your mind, but I think part of the problem, and what some of the comments I'm seeing, is that everything JoJo does, she does on social media. She is of her generation, and we do. As someone
she grew
said,
up in front of cameras.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. As someone said, I had to actually ban someone from the page today because they were replying to every post on that page with the same response. I'm like, okay, this young lady,
an episode where
was forced to grow up in front of cameras. She didn't really have a choice but to grow up in front of those cameras.
But Jesslyn did.
Jesslyn has managed her into Jesslyn has done her job. She's managed that person into a millionaire at age 22.
Mm.
She's fine. She's all good. I think when she decided to become the voice of the queer community, that may have upset a few votes.
Was she ever really that?
She invented gay pop, and this is what's going on.
She was saying she was, and
she's had one song that wasn't really a hit.
Has she not heard of DeBarge? Like
that. But now,
DeBarge, Brandi Carlile, Melissa Etheridge. Come on.
Her relationship with Kath Ebbs was all social media based because Kath is an influencer. It's this. I think what the younger generation has to understand is this is the trade-off for living your life in the public eye, no matter how macro or micro it is. Yeah, as we're talking about, this TikTok shit gets pretty addictive.
Well,
I can only imagine when you have thousands of followers that want to know your every move.
But isn't it hilarious?
So you give
all of these people go into these Big Brother houses and then cheat on their significant others. It's like, who are you? Like, yeah, now you're on camera, so we can see what you're up to.
We all know.
And I think that's
but are you doing this all the time? Like,
right, exactly. What we're seeing on camera reflexive of your day-to-day personality? Because yes, there was no physical whatever, but an emotional affair is sometimes worse, than if they had bumped uglies on international TV. And JoJo is not denying that there is something there, but she knows the game she's playing too. She's not an innocent in all of this.
Right.
She's going along with it and going, yeah, okay, cool. This has spun me another 15. Awesome. Don't have to do anything for this one. It's free. And now there's it's very funny because Kath was then asked JoJo to pay for their plane trip home, and was upset that they had to fly coach, that they wouldn't be paying for a business class ticket. I'm like,
well,
You put your partner. I know that your partner had this stuff going on, but you then put your partner on blast on social media, and they wonder
Get
why
a
they're
grip
not
on
paying.
reality too. Like,
Right.
I want to fly business class.
But this is the whole thing. These are social media influencers that think people are just going to give them things.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb cunts.
Like,
That's what
I
they
hate
are.
to say it, but
that people give too much attention
give
to.
it 12 months time. Will we even know who Kath Ebbs is?
Right.
Because I didn't before they started hooking up with
Nope.
Jojo Siwa.
Or maybe she might hit the reset button too.
They
Won't
won't hit
Whatever,
the reset button.
please.
Speaking of reset buttons, there may be someone who might. Oh, I don't know. The optics on this one are a bit confusing as well. There may be someone who might want to hit the reset button when they were considering their ticket pricing. Beyonce Knowles has started the Cowboy Carter tour. Now, before the SoFi Stadium shows started, they have started now. She's got a run of 5 nights at SoFi Stadium, which is huge. The ticket prices were discounted as high as 75%. And this is a social media post that went viral. Due to its low demand at Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tickets, $20 are now cheaper than a McDonald's Minecraft meal.
Wow.
Now, I don't
know where their McDonald's are, because I don't think our McDonald's is $21.39 for a Minecraft.
No, well, that's the adult. That's the adult. That's the adult Happy Meal.
I don't know.
You know, because adults need Happy Meals now.
Well, I don't go to McDonald's that often. I don't know.
So for comparison, I'm going to bring up a graphic of the actual ticket prices when they were on sale compared to the discounted ones. Now, be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Any second now.
Is anyone surprised though that this has happened to Beyonce?
Wow!
So,
look at those
tickets closest to the stage in I think it's called the Honey Pit.
Yeah,
$3,713 each. And the irony of this,
the Honey Pit,
they're not even the best view.
Yeah, I would imagine that's an obstructed view from the location.
Seeing so many people that bought those tickets that have said, like, there are tickets cheaper that have a view of the whole stage it's just
right.
Like, Lady Gaga is very similar with her pricing at the moment. I think it is.
I'm sure Taylor Swift was similar.
Not that bad.
Not that bad.
$3,000 to go and stand.
That's a lot.
Go and stand at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
I would not pay that. I don't care.
Nah.
Like,
we'll stick with Kylie Minogue. She gave us.
There is no one I would pay that much money to see. I have paid a fair amount of money to see Madonna.
Yeah.
I paid a fair amount of money, but that's over double what I paid to see Madonna, and I was sitting 3 rows from the front. Like, in the economy but it just proves how out of touch they are as well. In this economy, who has $3,000 to throw away on one ticket? And that's if you're living near that venue.
Right.
That's the minimum spend, you know? Mm-hmm. That's not including gas to get to or, you know, a plane trip or a hotel room or
she is in the billionaire class.
But it's very interesting. She's so out of touch because SoFi State, they had comparisons of Beyonce at SoFi and they had comparisons of Taylor at SoFi. There are huge screens. I don't know if you've seen it all around that stadium, like a big circular screen that can show you from every angle what's going on. Taylor paid to have those screens on every show that she did there. Totally black with blacked out seating areas of the audience for Beyonce.
Oh well. Good luck to her.
Let's look, because even these nosebleed seats, from what it looks like here, the cheapest seat that was available was $310.
Mm-hmm.
$310 for one ticket. No wonder they had to but a couple of days. It was I think it was a tweet or a X, whatever you call it, X these days. Went viral because there were thousands of tickets still available a week out to the show.
Well, do you want to pay $20 and go and see her?
If it was $20,
I would pay $20. I would absolutely pay $20.
I'm not down for the country yeehaw shit, but $20.
I mean, I would pay $200 to see that too. I mean, I would go a little higher, but I'm not going to pay $3,000.
$300 to sit in the absolute back row of the nosebleeds and fall to my death. No.
Mm-hmm.
Like that poor Trisha did that where we went to Kylie Minogue.
But he died at your concert?
No, she was drunk.
She was a little bit merry and nearly
fell over.
She nearly fucking died. She
laid next to us on the steps. She just laid on the steps next to us. Like, oh, hello,
I didn't even try and help her. I just went. I just gave her a look. All right.
Yeah, you're a bit
drunk. Who tries to tackle those kind of stairs in heels at that age? Come on.
I don't know.
After 700 drinks, nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Beyonce. Look, from what I've seen, the show is great, but anything's better than Katy Perry's tour, apparently. So
apparently, oh my God, TikTok is not being nice to her.
TikTok, yeah, Katy needs an extended.
Well, she's another person out of touch with reality.
Yeah,
she is completely.
Well, her post-flight interviews were kind of interesting when she went up in the cock rocket.
Oh look, yeah, she's
can't with the Daisy and shit. I just can't. And then people were linking videos of her talking about how we need to be looking after the environment, and then she goes and does
she flies up in that,
phallic symbol of justice from Jeff Bezos.
Just a hypocrite and totally out of touch.
Mm-hmm.
We are not out of touch. We are in touch because we have the successful return of.
Would you rather?
Okay, Luke.
Would you rather?
Okay. Would you rather? Okay. You've just got home and you're feeling a little bit unwell. Mummy's got to tuck you in and give you an extra helping of that special drink she makes you every day. Today's Would You Rather. Which Munchausen mother would you rather have to contend with? Pop her up, Steve. So we have famously Miss Dee Dee Blanchard, mother of Gypsy Rose, who poisoned Gypsy in what we think was to extort charities, but also because she had Munchausen's by proxy. Repeated hospital visits started since Gypsy was 3 months old, where she was saying that the baby had sleep apnea. Then it went on to be she's got a chromosomal disorder, she's got MS, and it ultimately ended in Dee Dee getting popped by Gypsy and her then boyfriend. Shauna Taylor, who was on the right. So she caused liver damage to her premature infant, I think when they're about 1 year old, due to a Tylenol and a iron supplement overdose. Her oldest children, so the child lived though, the baby's alive, it's now a child. The eldest two children then went on Dr. Phil and claimed that all 10 children in Shauna's care were subjected to abuse since they were children, with things such as insulin being put into their milk drinks. One of the boys had to have multiple spinal taps because mum kept insisting there's something wrong with him when there was nothing wrong. She actually got sentenced and went to jail in, I think, 2018, serving a 12-year sentence. So with, I guess, the outcomes of both situations, which boat would you rather to be hooked up to in this situation? Which mummy do you want to tuck in at night? Dee Dee or Shauna?
Don't think I could pick.
At
Look,
least
I know
Shauna.
I'm
At least
scraping the
Shauna.
barrel here.
At least Shauna faced
Consequence.
repercussions for her, like legal
Yeah,
repercussions. Not, she is
Yeah.
serving time for
She was
for the
formerly
damage she
actually
did to these
diagnosed too.
children.
And
Yeah.
Gypsy
And
did seem to make it to adulthood without any physical ailments.
I just think that the whole Gypsy Rose thing is so so well known, so over publicized that I can't imagine
There's multiple
living under that
documentaries.
kind of microscope.
Yeah.
So I would have to go with Shauna.
You're gonna go under Shauna's care?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a little milk drink, Bubs, with some insulin?
Yeah. I don't drink a lot of
Okay.
milk, so
Okay, so she'd have to change
Insulin.
up
She's lucky your kids didn't die.
Oh, she was apparently terrible. She had like this fixation on causing organ damage to the kids. Cooked, mate. Cooked.
Also, it's so there's physically something wrong with them that doctors can't dispute. Then she gets the attention that she wants. It's the same reason that Dee Dee was having, Gypsy's teeth ripped out and all this kind of stuff. Like,
yeah, it was giving her
same thing.
some form of validation, like, oh, you poor bugger, what you're going through. Never mind what they're putting the children through.
Yeah,
right. Well, that is Munchausen.
The children's always a means to an end. They're not seen as
It's a very narcissistic, inward-driven kind of.
Yeah, I don't think you can call yourself a parent when that happens.
Personality disorder,
When your child is a means to an end, I think that you forego the parent title. Controversial, I know.
Knowingly causing
I know it's
them
a mental
harm,
I know it's a mental health thing, but I'm sorry. Again, as many times, your trauma and your mental health is not your fault, but it is your responsibility.
I'm going to choose Shauna just for the fact that baby got out early. And it will recover. And livers are resilient. So whatever damage is done,
ask Luke. Livers are resilient.
Yeah. So that baby's liver will regenerate, and it's going to be all good. And most of that recollection of how psycho that bitch was will be out of her brain. So I would go with Shauna. I think Gypsy is always going to have that specter of Dee Dee in her life.
Till the day she dies, unless she moves and changes her name, people.
I hope to God somebody's making sure she's an adequate parent and has some sort of parenting role model.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting times.
Some kind of parenting education.
Yes. It is always interesting times here at UCR Live when things get a little hot and heavy, and we have reached a part of the show, so hopefully the internet connection holds out.
Hopefully Ice isn't going to kick me off.
It's time
for some hot stuff.
Okay, V, here we go. 3, 2, 1, Vin.
All right, kids. Did you get my picture, Steve? Are you going to put that up for me?
I can, yes.
Okay. Having some fun here in the U.S. And yeah, I wish I had an international incident to discuss, but I don't, because we don't have that much media around here anymore. But we do have a lot of discussion going on about immigration. And I don't care who you are, even if you're Native American, at some point, every single person in this country migrated from somewhere else. We know that the hub of civilization is the Tigris-Euphrates Valley in somewhere in now Syria, and that every human life has migrated from that point to somewhere else. So everyone in this country is an immigrant. And over the years, with this immigration argument that's been festering here in the United States, I keep hearing people say, oh, they got to come here legally like my ancestors did. To which I say, tell me what that looks like. Do you know what that looks like? Because I know you don't. Because the history of immigration in this country is pretty fucking short. Forget that we're only 250 years old. This country did not start legislating immigration until the 1890s, which is 130 years ago. Okay? And that legislation was just cataloging. It was called the Steerage Act, and it was about writing down names and tracking who came into the country. They didn't have to know where you lived. They didn't have to know where you landed. They didn't even have to know if you survived after you got off the boat. They just wanted a name to write on a piece of paper that they could turn into the Secretary of State and the House of Customs and say that we've been tracking it. And then in the 20s, they got a little bit more restrictive. They started to put quotas on people. It's like, well, we can only have so many people from Poland and so many people from England. And, guess which people got the lowest quotas? I'm sure it was brown people from Asia and Africa. But the interesting part is that there was no immigration quotas on people from North, South, and Central America. They were considered friendly countries, friendly borders, and people were allowed to come and go as they pleased, especially in the Southwest United States, where the border had moved several times after the Spaniards had ceded that during our westward expansion in our very short American history. But the crux of the current immigration system did not even start until 1965. And the majority of the law that informs our current immigration system was the Geneva Convention from 1951, which was part of the post-World War II international law that was created to protect human dignity. It's all about minimizing the trauma to already traumatized people. And in the Geneva Convention, there are things like due process, there are things like asylum, there are things like, repatriatizing people to their country of origin, all of which this administration is in direct violation of. And the sad, most heinous part of this is that that's not the most egregious thing they're doing. They are deporting children. ICE arrested a 9-year-old girl in a Winnie the Pooh shirt on the way to school. And this child is on film crying her eyes out in a Winnie the Pooh shirt because she has no idea what these men in flat gear with guns are doing as they're tying her arms behind her back. Okay? They deported a 4-year-old girl with cancer who was in this country with her family just for cancer treatment. And they cut off her cancer treatment, deported her from this country. They deported a 2-year-old girl who was born in this country as an American citizen. They've deported several American citizens, a lot of them Puerto Rican, and every fucking racist in this country keeps pretending that Puerto Rico is not part of this country, but every Puerto Rican is American, and plenty of Latinos are American. But today, in our never-ending saga of heinous bullshit, Congress is trying to etch out their budget. And they wanted to appropriate, after cutting $880 billion from Medicaid, which touches 70% of my country. Everybody is beneficial from Medicaid in some way, be it the transportation that takes children to school, be it, the lab that processes your blood work when you go to your doctor, being the money that props up your hospital so that you can continue to get care at a local level and not have to travel 2 hours to a fucking hospital. Anyway, after cutting $880 billion from Medicaid, they have been trying to appropriate additional monies to build detention centers in the United States for the deportation of all these criminal actives. And that is the brush that which they're painting every single brown person in this country, including people who are already citizens. Kristi Noem said on air last week that millions and millions of Americans have been living in terror from MS-13 and Tres de Agua. No, they haven't. I live in this country. I'm pretty well informed. I know 2 crimes that were committed related to MS-13 in 10 fucking years. I can name 8 crimes committed by white men in the last 5 weeks. But no, let's demonize every brown-skinned person, including people that were born here and have full rights of citizenship. And they continue to argue that they have the right to deport citizens without due process, to exile them. They are not deporting anybody. Let's call it what it is. They are kidnapping people and exiling them to countries that are not their countries of origin. They're not treating anybody with human dignity, and they are adding to human suffering every fucking day. And today, every single Republican voted to allow them, would not add any clauses into their bill to allow them to build more detention centers that said that a U.S. citizen could not be deported. Every single Republican congressperson that would not vote for that clause to be added to their appropriation for detention centers. I'm sorry. If you are about cutting kids with cancer off, or you about traumatizing 9-year-old girls, just the human dignity of throwing a pillowcase over someone's head and stealing them away without any conversation about what they're accused of. If you're willing to lie and say that you saved 200 million Americans from fentanyl, even though there's only 300 million Americans in this country, the lies, the hate, the chaos, it's ridiculous. If you are still supporting this fascist regime, then you are a living, breathing piece of human feces. Fuck you. This is from a detention center here in the United States. And a drone from the Daily Beast was flying over it, and they saw this drone and they waved to it and spelled out SOS. Think they're getting treated fairly in that detention center? Fuck you.
As always, well said. As always, very well said. But look, we are here to keep documenting it because we know the difference between a real photo and a badly photoshopped photo. We are here to hold everyone's feet to the flames and keep on going. Thank you for joining us today here on UCR Live. The lovely Vera and the luscious Luke have been here. If you would like to listen to the podcast, that option is still available and now available on Spotify again, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spreaker, all the good stuff. The more you listen, it gives us a little bit of money to make the days keep spinning.
We can buy that can of Coke we had our eye on.
Hey, we're getting there. If you haven't already, please jump over to our YouTube. We are growing our YouTube.
Sorry, Steve.
Very slowly but surprisingly at Uncensored Radio. Please also follow our TikTok at My Uncensored Radio.
I've been contributing to the TikTok a little bit lately, so
we're also gonna go in and maybe freshen up the merch shop soon. So we'll have a look and see what we can do.
Yeah, now we need to get the cartoonist back.
We need to get Vera venting everywhere. Thank you for joining us today. If you are a horror fan, stick with us. We are hitting the Speedway this week or next week for Final Destination 4, also known as The Final Destination. And then we'll be back next Thursday/Friday for more UCR Live. Keep the bastards honest, folks. Bye.